Hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Breakups hurt, and they can take more time than most of us would like to admit to get over. While there's nothing wrong with taking all the time you need to heal, there is a myriad of things you should not do while on that road to healing. Today on rSpace, we learn a few of those things. Love thy neighbor? This OP takes that to heart. Came home from a work trip 2 days early to surprise my partner. My worst nightmare came true. So I, 28 male, went on a work trip for a week and told my partner of 3 years, ex, 31 female, I was coming home on Sunday, but I had actually booked to fly in yesterday and take her on a surprise date on her birthday, Friday, which I otherwise would have missed. Messaged ex happy birthday yesterday morning and asked what she was doing for the day, to which she replied she would be having wine and movies with her friend Y, 30 female, who lives in our apartment block. I reiterated I could not wait to be home on Sunday. She said she couldn't wait and that she loves me. It has been really hard to write and relive this, but when I got home, I parked out the front of the building and out on the street, and when I walked through the code gate, I could not see lights on up by our balcony. I did see Y's lights on, so I assumed X would be at her place. I did not even have to enter as her place is on the ground level, and I saw through her window she was on her couch watching TV alone. I figured maybe X was out, so I walked up our 3 flights of stairs, and as I approached the door, I could hear it, and my heart just sunk. The sound of R&B music, moaning and knocking. The door was not even unlocked, and where it is positioned is when opened is in direct view of our bedroom. I just slightly opened the door and saw my girlfriend straddled on top of who I instantly recognized to be a guy from the gym we go to. I think what stood out to me more was it looked like it was unprotected sex, as I could see everything. I quietly closed the door and my soul just felt like it floated out of me. I knew they never heard me or noticed the door. I sat on the step for a good 5 minutes to process. This has always been my worst nightmare, but to literally have it play out exactly how I dreaded, another man in our bed, just gripped at the heart. I could not cry as it felt so surreal. Was this really happening? Am I dreaming? The continued sounds quickly brought me back to earth. I got up and walked out of the building and towards the front gate. Y had spotted me through the window and called out to me and waved, gesturing me to come over. I do get along very well with her, and in the past, she has told X how highly she thinks of me as a friend too. She has openly told X she finds me attractive, and if I had single friends who were also my nationality, New Zealand, we kind of had a chemistry between us from the first time I met Y, but that always stayed buried in my mind. I put on a brave face and walked into her apartment. We hugged and she asked what I was doing home early. I told her I had dates mixed up and that wasn't she not meant to be having birthday drinks with X? She seemed confused and told me that she said X was going out for drinks with some of our gym friends. Go figure. I instantly burst out in tears and cried for what felt like forever, and she got quite worried asking what was wrong, did something happen to me, etc. I struggled for words, but it blurted out that I had just walked in on the 2 of them in our bed. Her face turned so white, and she just hugged me and started to cry too. She knows I'm a joker, but I think she knew this was no joke. I just started talking out of frustration. I did not know what to do. They could be up there all night, and that this was my nightmare. We had no issues in our relationship other than her lack of interest in sex. Once every 6 weeks, it's a wonder I lasted 3 years with her, and I accepted that a long time ago. Y laughed through her tears and told me she has always been single and not had sex the entire time she knew me, and joked that maybe we could both use it. This actually made me laugh a bit too, and I hugged her, thanked her, and for a second forgot X was upstairs cheating on me. I asked her if I could stay there for the night as I had nowhere to go, and I slept on the couch. I'm still here a day later. I watched the guy leave in the morning and watched in tears when he came back this evening. I am meant to be home tomorrow afternoon. Have not texted X all day, but she has not texted me either. Truth be told, the only comfort I have now is with Y. How do I deal with X? Do I walk up there and interrupt? Do I call? Ask for an opinion, the community shall give it to you. KQH Babies starts us off. I'm a petty person. I'd take a pic of him entering the apartment, wait till they leave, then grab my stuff. When she notices it missing, send her the pic and tell her you've been back since Friday, but hated to interrupt her birthday ride. You'll be back at some date to get the furniture. Don't let her have it all. Next piece of advice from 33 Say What 33. Not married? It's over. Want a family one day? It won't be with her, so move on. Thank your parents for always being nice to you, but cheating is not something you tolerate. Go get your stuff with a friend. Stay calm. Never lose your cool. Make sure you tell her in person. Her response is key. If marriage was ever discussed, remind her that that's gone. Don't tell her what you know. Just pack your stuff because she's not faithful. If she begs for you to stay, tell her to write down the timeline of the cheating. Who, what, when, where, how. She'll only want to confess what you know. Then she'll get angry at you. Just chuckle and say, "Yep, they always blame others when they're cornered." Go get boxes. It's over. Stay cool no matter how much she yells or cries. One more from the community, from Ill-Tempered 1978. Find another place to stay and leave her. Don't even give her closure. That's my opinion. It doesn't matter how many times she cheated, all that matters is that she did. You have your answers, so F her. Either you move out or she moves out. That woman is for the streets. DOP replies, I think her getting no closure is the best thing I can think of. At this stage, I want to move out. Now for the update. Firstly, I thank everyone for their views, opinions, and advice. I'm still trying to keep up with reading the comments. I appreciate those saying I should have had a backbone or spine, as to be honest, I would be saying the same things to someone else. This is my first experience with infidelity, so it is easier to judge until I actually had it happen. Anywho, before I tell what has happened today, I will answer a few questions. Me. I have my own business and run it end to end by myself. I travel maybe 3 times a year to meet with production facilities and doing quality checks for my product. Physically, I am 6'6", 124 kilograms, and I play rugby and have done a lot of boxing, so I can definitely defend myself. However, I do not go around using that. I absolutely tower over that piece of crap guy in every way. I earn a very comfortable living, as does X, so a split will not financially cripple either of us, and we are not married. The tears have been shed, and I realize this is a blessing in disguise, and I know what I need to do. Apartment. We split all the bills 50-50 and have 4 months and a week left from a year-long lease, which both of our names are on. We had actively been looking for a home to buy, however, I guess I dodged a bullet there. Why? What a woman. Aside from her personality, she is also absolutely gorgeous. How she is and always has been single, I will never know, and she has not been intimate with anyone in over 3 years, according to X. She's been on my side through it all, without saying a cruel word about X. She understands it was a bad thing to do towards me, and that it does not involve her. That being said, she has said once X inevitably has owned up to it, she will likely stop being friends with her due to the act. She has not tried to come on to me like a rebound, and has just been super supportive. That alone speaks volumes of her character. X. Works in a hospital and is very attractive. Nice woman, but can be quite self-centered. In hindsight, we were basically just friends. When you have only ever had protected sex because she does not want to get pregnant or go on the pill, and it is once in a blue moon, I guess I just accepted it and got too comfortable in the relationship being what it was. I just tried to get my head around her never even showing signs she was cheating. I know I am not perfect, but I have always been good to her, always cooked for her, and did a lot around the house. Went on dates regularly, told her things about her to make her feel loved, and always got brushed off after what I thought was a good night. I now question why, if she did not want me, why did she stay for this long? My plan. I intended to call her this morning to say my flight would be leaving earlier and could she pick me up at the airport earlier. With the airport being a 40-minute drive away, I could use this time to go up and pack all of my things and rush them to my car, and why I said I could put some in her spare room. Once X would notice my things missing, she would try to call me, message me, etc., and I would simply respond with a photo of the two of them in bed. After reading comments, I decided the most cruel punishment for her would be to have no closure. I would explain to the property manager my circumstances and go and stay at a friend's until I find a new place. X can cover the rent. She can certainly afford it. I do have the option to stay with Y, but that is way too close to X, and I do not want to do anything with Y that could ruin our friendship, even though I know her and I are inevitable. The outcome. I went up very early in the morning and very quietly opened the door. Fortunately, they were asleep on the bed, so I took a photo of them, but it was weird that I almost felt guilty about violating privacy when my entire relationship was violated. I did not feel sad anymore, just angry and betrayed. I noticed what would have been his shoes on the floor next to my various, much larger pairs. I decided to take a photo of those and use it first. I figured it would be a more subtle way that she would likely lie about until I hit her with the photo of them in bed. I went back down to Y's and waited around for another hour or so until I was certain X would be awake. I tried to call and no answer, and twice again to no answer. I looked at Y, and we both just knew what was happening. After about a half hour, She called me and sounded very much awake and like everything was very much normal. I tried to put on my normal voice and told her my flight is leaving 2 hours earlier than I thought and could she collect me at 1 p.m. She said yes and that she loved me, that she was at her parents' for breakfast and that they said hello. Lie. On that note, her parents love me and will be broken about this. I went and laid down for a few hours to run in my head what I would get from the apartment. Other than clothes and a few appliances, most of my stuff was already boxed as I knew if we bought a house, I wanted an easy move. Around midday, I saw X go down to the car park and gave it a few minutes after she left before I moved my car downstairs and went upstairs. It smelled like air freshener and I noticed how new sheets and covers on this bed. All dishes were done. She went to every length to cover up that anyone else was ever there. It took me all but 10 minutes to gather all of my things, and if I forgot anything, I probably did not care about it. It did feel weird knowing it would be a goodbye to the place I called home, but I felt strong. X sent me a message asking where I was, as she was at the arrivals area. I replied and said I was held up and that I would Uber home. Maybe an hour later, a bunch of missed calls and her messaging saying, "Where's all my stuff? And has something happened?" My heart nearly beat out of my chest when I sent the photo of the shoes saying, "These aren't my size." She had the audacity to reply saying they were her brother's from when he picked her up to go to mom and dad's. Did I not say she would pull something like that? I did not even want to discuss, but I knew she was cornered, so I sent the photo of them in bed, and I have left it at that. She did not even try to call, as I was expecting a wave of calls or texts. In my eyes, that is me leaving her, and I know I could have called her out or caught them in the act, confronted them, but I wanted her to know I knew and that she would never be able to know how or explain herself. I will not tarnish her name as it is not in my nature and I do not want to ruin her life, but she can live with this forever, although I doubt she has a conscience. I have left Wise as I know X will be down to see her soon, and I'm at my friend's nearby collecting today's rundown to relay to you all. If it were not for Y, this would have been a lot harder, but I know she will sever her friendship with X in the next day or two. I am doing well and looking ahead. This hurt at first, but I am glad I found out now and not after we bought a home. I have sent an email to the property manager informing her of our sudden split and that she would be covering the rent until the lease ends and she can keep the bond. I think the pain for X will be when Y and I begin our inevitable relationship. P.S. I am really resisting the urge to go to the gym and throw hands. Our first community response comes from Scary Inspector 8315. Dude, please don't cover anything for her. Blow her world up before she plays the victim card and turns this against you, especially since it seems you and Y will be getting together. She will claim you cheated on her first. This good boy high ground route always gets men screwed. Drop this good boy attitude and nuke her all the way. Showing kindness to your enemy is being cruel to yourself. Worried Ad 7731 chimes in. Good for you. Take your time with Y. See a therapist and put extra focus on yourself. Because of the swirling of emotions and intensity of them, it is critical to react to the breakup in purposeful and healthy ways, OP. Avoid unhealthy coping skills, as even though they may bring temporary relief and release, it will not be permanent and often adds new problems to the emotional roller coaster you are on. It's easy to hurt someone after they've hurt you, but by doing that, it makes you no better than them and stagnant in growth. It's natural to feel the desire to lash out at your ex, directly or indirectly, but it's not smart to actually do so. When those feelings arise, take a deep breath and ask yourself, 1. Is it worth sitting in the negative energy of revenge? 2. Is revenge consistent with who you want to be? 3. How will this serve me now or in the future? Revenge is a two-edged sword that can leave feelings of shame and remorse. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.